Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to understanding some complex stories happening, maybe just beneath the surface.
Yeah, stories you might miss.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Today, we're looking ahead. It's 2025 now, but we're thinking about 2026, and specifically the huge shared event that is the FIFA World Cup.
Hosted across North America.
Right. But this isn't just about football for us today. We're digging into how it connects to sovereignty, borders, identity. That's kind of tangled up with this really ambitious geopolitical idea called One North America.
That's right. So our mission for you, the listener, is really to break down some specific sources. We're looking at reflections, related articles, all from one author, Gaynor-Fray, published around October 2025.
Okay.
And these sources, they frame the World Cup not just as, a big tournament.
Sure, the usual sports thing.
Exactly. But as this critical, really high-profile moment, an opportunity to boost public awareness for ideas about cross-border unity, maybe even, massive structural changes across the whole continent. It's a bold connection they're making.
It really is. So we have to start there, right? If the author's using this huge global event, what's the main goal? What are they trying to achieve?
Well, what's interesting is the author's pretty upfront about the uncertainty of it all.
Okay.
They actually state, and this is a direct quote, "It's not clear to me what it could mean for the one North America concept, in terms of immediate political results."
So no promises of instant change?
No, but they are crystal clear on the intention. They follow up by saying the event should create more awareness of the idea.
Awareness, okay.
So the World Cup becomes this giant spotlight, a continental advertisement almost for a pretty revolutionary political vision.
Visibility is the goal then. All right, let's unpack the foundation for this, because the author doesn't just jump into geopolitics. They ground this huge continental idea in something really specific, really personal, their own life.
Yeah, that's section one for us, the personalization of this North American unity idea.
And what immediately jumps out, as you said, is how tangible it is. They aren't starting with theory.
Not at all. They basically establish their sort of right to talk about continental integration by physically showing their own reality, moving between the U.S. and Canada.
Exactly. The source material, it actually shows the author holding their United States passport book and their Canadian passport book together.
Right. So it's not just talk. It's like, here's the formal proof confirmed by two different countries, my personal reality.
And it goes deeper than just the passports, doesn't it? If you look at the documentation they show.
Yeah, it's about showing the whole picture. It's not just the passport books, which are key, obviously, but they also lay out other documents right there with a 2026 FIFA hat. Things like a U.S. birth certificate, a U.S. passport card, a Canadian citizenship certificate.
So all the official paperwork.
Pretty much. The exact list isn't as crucial as the symbolism, right? It's about demonstrating full, formal, recognized status in both countries. And this dual identity, this becomes the lens for looking at the whole continent.
Okay, but the setting where they show this documentation, a San Diego soccer match in 2025, and Balboa Park, also in San Diego. Why there? Right near the U.S.-Mexico border, focused on soccer.
Yeah.
What does that add?
Well, that choice seems really deliberate. It connects everything instantly. You've got the personal identity, the dual citizenship proofs connected to the physical reality of the continent right there near a major border. And it's linked through soccer, the very thing the World Cup is about.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So placing the personal experience right in that kind of geographical and cultural mixing pot.
Exactly. It's like they're saying, look, I navigate this complex identity, this cross-border reality. Why can't the continent figure it out on a larger scale? And they explicitly mention this dual citizenship experience in a related article, the one titled Dual Citizenship, How Did You Get It, Tyreek?
I see.
So that personal story, it becomes the metaphor for the bigger political goal.
That really reframes it. The stack of documents isn't just ID. It's like the ideological starting point. Okay, but that personal proof is just the launch pad, right? We need to talk about where this is all going.
The destination.
Yeah. Let's pivot. Section 2. What is One North America, according to this author? And we have to rely pretty heavily on just the titles of their related articles here to figure that out.
We do. And those titles, wow, they paint a picture of immense ambition, maybe even shocking ambition, honestly. It goes way beyond just tweaking trade deals.
So where do we start? What's the biggest idea?
The grandest vision is captured in this title. One America, two continents, one country.
Whoa, okay. 2 continents, 1 country. That's
It
huge.
is. The scope there suggests, a proposal for deep political union, blurring national lines, maybe even continental ones. It sounds like creating one massive single entity.
That kind of title really makes you stop and think. It's not just like better border crossings. It sounds like a whole new design for governing 500 million
It
people.
does.
So what specific structural ideas do the titles hint at?
Well, right after that huge vision, there's a title that gets more practical, directly asking, Proposed structure for one North America with a question mark.
Okay, so they're thinking about the how.
It suggests they're focused on the institutional design. Yeah. Maybe some kind of consolidated federal model, or perhaps confederal one. It shows it's not just a philosophical idea. There's thought going into a potential policy framework. It's trying to systematize the complexity.
Right, and then drilling down into the existing relationships. There's a title about Canada that sounds pretty pointed. A Friendly Neighbor No More, Rethinking Our Relationship with Canada.
Yeah, that one definitely has an edge.
What do you think that implies?
Well, it suggests that building this one North America isn't just about getting Canada to agree administratively. It means fundamentally rethinking the whole historical dynamic.
So challenging that image of Canada as just the quiet, friendly partner up north.
Exactly. Within some new unified structure, that relationship itself would have to be structurally redefined. And from a traditional diplomatic standpoint, that's got to be seen as provocative, right?
Definitely. But the author doesn't just look north. There's also a real focus on the southern border, the U.S.-Mexico relationship. And it seems grounded in recent personal experience again.
That's right. They documented trips, specifically in 2025, to Tijuana, Mexico, and also to San Ysidro, California, which is literally right on the border.
So going to the friction points, observing them directly.
Yes. And this observation seems to lead to what might be the most radical proposal in all the source material we looked at. It's a title that just stops you cold and forces you to think about what one North America means for the border itself.
Okay, what is it?
The title is Western Wall USMX Border Removal Party. Can you make it?
Wow. Western Wall Removal Party. That's incredibly loaded language.
It really is. Using Western Wall immediately brings up images of these huge, deeply entrenched separations.
Yeah, like Berlin or Brest.
And then framing the removal of the U.S.-Mexico border structure as a celebratory party, is that just rhetoric? Or is it signaling that border removal is like a fundamental part of this vision?
What's your read on that?
I think the language is highly deliberate. It's meant to provoke, yes, but also to simplify the end goal. It suggests that in this envisioned unified North America, the current physical barrier, the wall, needs to be dealt with in the most complete way possible.
Meaning, tear it down.
It's permanent public removal. Yeah. It makes border fluidity with Mexico a core, maybe even a celebratory feature of this proposed union, which is a stark contrast to the kind of structural, perhaps more cautious reevaluation suggested for the relationship with Canada.
Okay. So pulling it together, we have these potential structural proposals, a challenging look at the Canada relationship, and this really radical vision for the U.S.-Mexico border. It's comprehensive, it's political, and parts of it are undeniably provocative.
Absolutely.
So now we have to loop back to the World Cup. How does this potentially radical political concept connect with this massive mainstream global sporting event? How does the 2026 World Cup actually work as a tool for awareness, like the author suggests? This is section 3.
Well, the World Cup does something just by happening as a unified event, something political proposals often struggle with. It creates this undeniable geographic unity, at least visually, on a global stage.
How so?
Think about the official FIFA 2026 match map. For the duration of the tournament, that map basically erases the national borders visually. It shows the U.S., Canada, and Mexico as one single region hosting the event, one logistical zone.
Right. It takes the abstract idea of a unified North America from a policy paper and suddenly overlays it onto something everyone understands. A sports tournament map.
Exactly. And the author makes that link explicit, bridging the personal and the global. Remember that image we talked about?
The FIFA hat next to the passport.
Yeah. Placing the 2026 FIFA hat right beside their proof of dual U.S. and Canadian identity. It's like the perfect visual shorthand. The World Cup suddenly makes their personal cross-border experience relevant on a continental scale. It makes it topical.
And the timing is key here too, right?
Yeah.
These articles are coming out in late 2025.
Absolutely crucial. Just months before the event kicks off. So all the reflections on border trips, the structural ideas, this commentary, it all gains this immediate, intense relevance because the whole world's attention is building towards that shared event in 2026.
The spotlight is basically guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
But let's be practical.
Yeah.
Can a, 3-week or month-long sports tournament really kickstart a movement for continental restructuring that involves potentially dismantling border walls?
Yeah.
Or is the author just being maybe opportunistic, using a huge event to get attention for a niche political idea?
That's really the critical question, isn't it? And I think the power of the World Cup here isn't about passing laws or signing treaties.
Yeah.
Its power is forcing acknowledgement. It moves the conversation out of just policy circles and think tanks and into, well, popular culture. For the tournament just to work, logistically, requires unprecedented collaboration across the three nations.
Right. Fans crossing borders, security cooperation,
Yeah.
shared infrastructure.
Exactly. All of that forces the public, even people who are skeptical about integration, to actually acknowledge the practical reality of North American interdependence. They have to share fans, share logistics, share security concerns, share a kind of temporary identity for the event to succeed.
So it makes that continental connection unavoidable, even if it's just for the summer of 2026.
Yeah.
The World Cup itself becomes the biggest possible kind of proof of concept for regional working together.
Precisely. It allows the author to tap into the sort of emotional energy and shared experience of this huge cultural spectacle to drive awareness for a concept, one North America, that, let's face it, might otherwise be dismissed as too complex, too radical, or just too politically difficult to even talk about.
Okay, that brings us towards the end of this deep dive then. We've sort of traced how this author, Tyreek A. Gaynor-Fray, uses their own very real, tangible dual citizenship as a starting point.
The foundation.
Right, the foundation for this layered, pretty provocative vision of one North America. And this vision, which we piece together from their article titles, seems to include detailed ideas about structural change, a necessary rethinking of the Canada relationship, and some really radical proposals about the U.S.-Mexico border wall.
Yeah, the removal party.
Exactly. And all of this gets amplified, gets put on a bigger stage, using the shared reality, the unifying force of the upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup.
And this leaves us with a really interesting question, something for you, the listener, to think about based just on the sources we looked at today. If the author's main goal, as they stated, is simply to create awareness.
Just to get the idea out there.
Right. Just to put one North America on people's radar. Does a powerful, immediate, shared cultural experience like hosting the World Cup actually provide a faster, maybe more effective way to do that than, say, years of trying to push detailed, perhaps abstract, policy proposals like the ones mentioned in titles like Proposed Structure for One North America, which ultimately holds more power for building awareness in this case, the detailed blueprint or the massive shared spectacle?
It definitely makes you consider how these huge global events can sometimes bypass the usual political channels and really force conversations about regional identity in a new way, something to watch as we head towards 2026.
For sure.
Thank you for digging deep with us today. We hope you feel well-informed and maybe have a new lens for watching how this unfolds.